जय हिंद मैम.
जय बोलिए. आज क्वेश्चन we will be having a
जैन मैम.
question है कि directly we will be starting.
मैम वी आर स्ट्रीमिंग दिस टू यूट्यूब, तो
अच्छा
वो स्ट्रीम हम स्टार्ट करते हैं, देन आई विल स्टार्ट द सेशन.
हाँ हाँ बिल्कुल.
यस मैम. हैज इट स्टार्टेड इन यूट्यूब? I'm just a minute.
All of you are from GSITS.
Yes ma'am.
Yes ma'am.
Which batches are you all?
25.
Ma'am, there
Ma'am,
are
that's
students
25.
from 25, and we have all like also invited 24 batch and
अच्छा
first year also. Yes
अच्छा.
ma'am. Rashi, remind me when the streaming is started.
Yeah, streaming has started.
So can I start?
Yes yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, Jai Hind Sathiyo, welcome to today's webinar. Myself, Purvi Srivastav, NSS second year volunteer. So, when I heard of term UPSC, the very first thought came to my mind was don't limit your challenge, but challenge your limits. Yes, to become a successful officer and crack UPSC examination, one needs to have a determination, dedication, and consistency. And for that, you have to challenge your limits and not to bound them. With this thought, several alumni of SGSITS have contributed to this field and are providing value to our nation, which gave us immense sense of pride and inspiration. So today, we are presenting a webinar on success of UPSC exam presented by Ms Aisha Fatima ma'am, an alumnus of SGSITS, and she has secured 184th All India rank in UPSC CSE examination. Before we get started, I want to inform you all that we will have a Q&A session after followed by the conversation with ma'am. So you all can ask your question in the comment box. Now, without further dues, I would like to welcome Ms Aisha Fatima ma'am to enlighten us with a valuable ma'am. Jai Hind ma'am, welcome to the webinar.
Jai Hind. Good afternoon everyone. Thank you for
Yes, ma'am.
having me, Purvi.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, it's a great pleasure to have you here with us. Now, I would like you to share your journey from being an aspirant to securing 184th All India rank in UPSC exam.
My journey has been a long and tedious one, and this was my fourth attempt that I could crack a UPSC. The last previous attempt, I could not even qualify prelims, and for 2020 and 2021, I could not qualify prelims by less than 1 marks. So yes, my journey was long, but all in all, the consistency and the honesty maintained, and I think so that made me through the final list in this attempt.
Yeah, that's great to hear, ma'am. Your journey was like commendable. Like after fourth attempt, you never stopped for it and you just tried, pushed it along the way. Ma'am, I want to know that what inspired you to join the civil services and what were your preparation strategies?
The primary motivation that I got was even during colleges or college time was that the field that I wanted to work for was widespread. I wanted to work for society. I wanted to work with for the community. I wanted where I would have a social communication and I could work for betterment of the society. So keeping that motivation and making the civil services sets a pedestal to work for the same. So that made me very motivated that this is the field of work that I would want to give my energy and my time to. So that's why the motivation, the primary motivation was that working for our country, working for our society that has been in the people who are in the most deprived section. So keeping that in mind, I kept for civil services, and that was the primary motivation, and that made me go through it.
Yes, ma'am. That's like really great to hear. Ki Everybody should have that feeling inside themselves कि we should do something for our nation because that is the primary thing a human being can do for its nation. It's really nice to hear, ma'am. Now I would like to know like what challenges did you face during the preparation of your exam?
The primary challenge that I faced was of the prelims only, because it had become very difficult for me to crack. The main point that I found in analysis that why couldn't I crack it or what was the difficulty was the self confidence. I was a little bit of on an anxious side that might be I might be not suitable or I might not be having enough knowledge to crack the exam, so that degraded my self confidence in the examination hall, and that made me do more negative number of questions that ultimately led to more number of attempts. So that was one of the challenge that I faced. Apart from it, the challenge of being fear of missing out, the emotional challenges that you have, so that challenges, but that can be overcome eventually. But primary challenge was self confidence that I had to build.
Yes, ma'am. That's the like challenge in every field we face. Every time we have some mental breakdowns and everything, but we have to keep it up with ourselves to achieve the success. Ma'am, there was some time where your motivation just got down and you just felt like that can't be done after this. So in that situation, what is that element that bring you to do this again? Ki, I have to do this.
The thing is that when you have an emotional breakdown and the things start to look very gloomy, that you might not be able to do it, every target that you had set, you cannot achieve it, or something or the other thing that makes you go think about your own decisions. So what one thing that I used to do was that whenever I used to feel very bad or very sad about my decision, that I might have taken a wrong decision. I might be not be clearing this exam. So what I used to do was write in a piece of paper that why I want to do this exam, or why this exam is the only thing that I want to do in my life, or why civil services is the thing that I want to do in a greater good. So that made me feel that this was meant for me. This is the thing that I have to do. So that pushed me and gave me motivation. Apart from it, the pillars of support, your parents, your family, your siblings, that you can talk to them, and if they are if you can be honest with them, if you can be honest with all the emotional side with them, it helps a lot because they will be pushing you towards it. If I may share, one of the things that I did after failing my 2021 prelims was that I talked to my mother that what is the problem that I am facing in the exam. So she told me to trust my subconscious mind and not to change answers, and not to overthink on things. So that thing resonated with me in my 22nd attempt, and that helped me crack it. So these things you can do when you're demotivated.
Yes, ma'am, you told us about writing the thoughts in paper. Like, I also think we just go to some other people, chat with them, but instead of them, we should write our feelings on a paper and chat with ourselves only. And the second thing about the parents, so if we say कि parents are our best friends, so they really are. They always guide us to the right path. That is really great to hear, ma'am. Also, ma'am, I want to know that you talk about prelims and all. So, what are the tips that you can give to the students so they can focus on that?
Tips are that keep your resources limited, have resource efficiency, use multiple readings of the same resource rather than having multiple resources and reading just them once. Have multiple revisions. Apart from that, practice a lot before your final exam, and practice in the sense of all the coaching papers that you are having at your end, and also all the things like the previous year question papers that you have, so use them wisely and religiously to help crack the exam, and having in the setup of the mindset, examination mindset, that yes, this and this type of questions can be asked, and the answers lies in the options or the in your paper itself.
Yeah. And ma'am, there's also like a key element consistency. So So how like you being consistent throughout the preparation and what's your strategy?
Like for consistency, what I did was planned my day. For each day, a day before I used to a day before I used to plan the other day, like what I will be doing in the other day. Like whenever I used to sleep, I used to write what all the tasks that I have to do after waking up, and what will be my timetable, what will be the things that I have to do the next day. So that helped me because the whole day was planned, so you don't have much of time to think or much of free time to actually waste it. So that made me consistent. Apart from it, also maintaining a Google sheet. I used to write my day and mark it green if it was a successful day and I have completed a whole of my task, and if it was not a successful day, I hadn't completed like 50% of tasks, so it was a red day. So for me, that color coding of the day also helped because you don't want to be a failure. So that helped in also maintaining consistency.
Yes, ma'am. We like the students, college students, we also prepare the timetable and we just manifest it all the time कि ये कभी पूरा होगा, but it doesn't get to. So yeah. Also, ma'am, like your interview has also done. So what's that experience? Can you please share about it?
Yes, as this was my first interview, so obviously a feeling of anxiety, a feeling of what will be there in the final exam, final interview hall, and which panel will you be getting. So there was seriously a little bit of what a little bit of uncomfortable moments were there, like what you have to do in the examination hall, and interviews and the most unpredictable stage where whatever the chairman will be asking, whatever the panelist will be asking, you don't know what you will be doing at that point of time. So I just prepared for myself that whatever will be the question, I will be answering it very nicely, and I will be addressing all the things that an examiner has been said. And also one thing that I took into the interview hall was hearing. We actually don't hear what the person is saying. We just come to a conclusion when we start saying. So I kept my cool and heard what the question was the panelist was trying to ask from me. So that helped a lot.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. And interviews, there was some crisp moment. So have you like been through any that moment and you would like to share about it?
My interview went for a longer time because I was the last candidate to be interviewed on the day. So they were at peace that this is the last candidate. So they took about 35-40 minutes went into the interview. So yes, tougher questions were also asked, and lighter questions like what honesty means to you, and what can be done for our society, and how can you judge the development of your state. So these questions were also asked on the technical terms as well was asked, because coming from electrical engineering background, questions of electrical engineering, why we don't have the rate of 100% rural electrification, what are the problems associated with it, or what are the generation capacity of our country, and what do you think if you come into the civil services. So as an electrical engineer, what you will be doing in your district committees. So such type of questions were asked.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am, I'm pretty sure that you have handled them like beautifully. And ma'am, also there's like we have to choose some additional subjects. So what were yours and how did you choose them?
I chose my optional subject as political science and international relations. Now, why I chose it and not chose electrical engineering was the reason was plain and simple, because I wanted to take a subject that was more oriented with other general studies subject as well. So PSIR has too much of syllabus overlapping with general studies, so that helped me correlate with general studies. And because we are a technical person, we have been studying facts and factual knowledge a lot more in electrical engineering and engineering background as such. But when we shift to civil services, you have to look more at the societal angle, and you have to look more of various angles that you have that are not factual, that are very subjective. So for that, I was like, I will be choosing a social science subject that would help me understanding other subjects as well. So given that, and given the international relation is very dynamic, and it has been the India has been growing its international space, if we see. So it garnered my interest that this is a very interesting field to study. So that's why I chose PSIR.
Yes, ma'am, that is beautifully explained. And also, I wanted to know that does it affect a lot from what background you are coming from, like what branch you have studied in BTech and then shifted to civil services? So, what does it impact on it?
The impact would be because you have switched your mode of study, like from technical, where you were studying facts or formulas, and now you're studying more subjective kind of nature. So initially, the what we say in physics, the inertia, the initial force required to break that is more, because you have to understand the questions and their answers as well.
Yes, ma'am. And ma'am, there's also a thing that nowadays going